All right, guys, it's September 1st. You know what that means. How many of your Halloween decorations do you have up right now?
I have a bunch that are year round, but it's September 2nd and probably the 10th when anyone will hear this. Yeah,
I don't know what dates are.
I keep them up all the time, man. I've got a skeleton next to me. I've got some giant masks, that are like like the Ben Cooper masks.
Zach, I see no jack-o'-lantern. I see no jack-o'-lantern in your background. Do I need to call someone?
You do. I have not gotten my decorations out, but
I don't even see any orange.
Well, okay, you guys can't see all my I got all the horror posters up on this side, and I have a gremlin over here, so I have spooky stuff out year round. But
he's got a spooky blue pillow.
It's very spooky.
And the spooky
I don't have any of
Roku desktop screen.
It'd be really spooky if you hit it with a black light.
It would. I don't have any. I have the hitchhiking ghost
covered
figures.
In ectoplasm.
The hitchhiking ghost figures on my media shelf. I'm actually trying to spruce up my media shelf a bit soon. So I got this little I bought this cool campfire Etsy LED light thing that'll kind of go on one of those shelves.
I texted my wife yesterday and said, when do you want to put up Halloween decorations? And she said October 1st.
What? Too late. Overruled, Melody. Overruled.
Year round.
You're overruled.
I mean, I feel like this year maybe we can make an exception.
She just said, well, I think this year maybe we can make an exception.
Okay. Deal. Or you could start in one room and then slowly.
The second I feel some sort of breeze in the air and it's not boiling lava hot outside.
See, our problem is decorations aren't really widely available here yet because back to school is still going on. Target has the candy out. No decorations yet.
I saw a jack-o'-lantern in Walmart the other day. I was like,
yeah, they have, those posable skeletons that you can click into different poses. They have a giant version. They're trying to horn in on Home Depot. I don't think he's 12 feet tall, though. He's much smaller.
Yeah, the Spirit Halloween that opens up by my apartment, they don't open it until October 1st or something. They take way too long to open that thing.
I think ours is open. I just haven't been to it yet.
It's okay. Fortunately, the greatest thing about Burbank is that there are tons of cool pop culture, horror, Halloween-themed stores. There's literally a store called Halloween Town in Burbank, as well as a
I used to work
costume shop. Yeah.
Well, it's a shame this discussion doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about today.
No, it doesn't.
No,
yes,
because
it does.
It's actually more interesting. But yeah, today we're gonna give you some. Everyone always asks us about picks for Halloween, so we're gonna give you some, movies to watch. Thing is, though, we don't want to do a bunch of obvious ones. So if something has Halloween in the title, we're not gonna be talking about it here, probably.
Michael Myers is sitting this one out.
The closest I get is that I have a pun for jack-o'-lantern as a title in one of mine. That's as on the nose as mine get. So, yeah.
So yeah, let's get to this. Welcome to another Mishable Podcast, Top 12 Halloween Movies to Watch This Year.
We'll return after these messages.
My name is Zach, by the way. Joining me, as always, the Criterion Kid, the graduate, Kris Pistol.
The Criterion Kid.
And the one and only Professor, Casey. How's it going?
Yeah, been an interesting week, man. I went from having my house evacuated to finding what was literally the only new Prius in all of Southern California and buying it. So
congratulations,
Whoa.
Casey. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Wow.
It was. I lucked into that shit.
So who is starting off our countdown here? We each have 4 picks. We're just going to go back and forth. So this will be like 4 rounds, more or less. 4 Halloween movies that you need to watch this year. Again, we're going to leave off some obvious ones that we've talked about in the past. A couple things we've mentioned in passing might be on some of our lists, but the most obvious ones are not going to be, and some we might be saving for later. So it's a different episode. So
if you don't mind, I'd like to start. I've been breathing a lot of smoke and ash, and so my voice is shot also, and I've been yelling at children all week.
He's in the hottest environment by far. So Casey, kick off this list.
Okay, so I'm going to start with one that I have mentioned on this show in the past. Yeah, this is going to be Ladrones de Tumbas, also known as grave robbers. Bing! Okay. So Grave Robbers is a Mexican horror film from 1989. It's done by a guy by the name of Ruben Galindo Jr. He was kind of found by Vinegar Syndrome, and they released 3 of his movies. The most famous one being Don't Panic, because that's been on Shudder, and also it's in English. The other ones are in Spanish, but I got to tell you, this movie is great, okay? It's not about the fact that it's about grave robbers accidentally digging up a satanic executioner who wakes up to murder people and also get someone pregnant with the Antichrist. Okay, that's awesome, but that's not why I'm suggesting it. I'm suggesting this for overall vibe, and that's what a lot of my choices are going to be, overall vibe, okay?
Same.
And this one's like watching Thriller for an hour and a half or 2 hours or however long this runtime is. It has that feel to it. It's like he pointed to that video and decided to actually just make it his thing. And that's actually a recurring theme in a couple of his movies. Don't Panic has it a little less, but all 3 of the films have like a lot of Thriller references in them even. But so it is intentional. And I can't recommend this enough. It's on Tubi. You may have to look it up, not as Grave Robbers, but under Ladronas de Tumbas, which means grave robbers in Spanish. And it's pretty sweet. It's subtitled in English. Don't worry about it. Read, okay?
Read.
The words aren't important anyway. It's people getting murdered and cool graveyard scenes. That's all you need. Okay.
And the words of that guy.
I can't recommend it enough.
The words of that guy from the IT crowd. I can't read while I'm also trying to see things.
Luckily, usually, like when you're trying to see things, people are just screaming, and when they're giving you important information, nothing really cool is going on. So it works out.
When did this movie come out, Casey?
1989. It came out on Blu-ray recently. Yeah, if you want Halloween vibes, this and my next choice are probably like 2 of the strongest movies that I could possibly recommend for that. So
Putting it in the watch list now.
Indeed. All right, Kris, you are next. What is next on our 12 Halloween movies to watch this year?
All right, very much like Casey, I'm a vibes person. Like I like to watch, fall type movies in the fall, summer type movies in the summer. That's why I'm not like your basic boy who'll just like throw on a Friday the 13th movie on Halloween. Like those are summer movies to me. Like that's a summer vibe.
They're everyday movies for me. I'll just watch them whenever.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a hot, sweaty movie. That's for the summertime. I like me some fall. I like me some crispy vibes. This is a very, very fall centric movie. So this is a little movie called The Trouble with Harry.
The trouble with Harry is he's a nuisance. What's he doing in our bathtub? I hit him over the head with a milk bottle and knocked him silly. You can stuff him for all I care. Stuff him and put him in a glass case.
The trouble with Harry is he's lazy.
Doesn't live around here.
He died around here. That's what counts now.
What do you call him? Dead. It ain't mine.
But the real trouble with Harry is he's really quite dead. Well, murdered, in fact. And everyone wants to take the credit for it. That's the trouble with Harry.
Which was directed by a guy that you might have heard of, Alfred Hitchcock.
Who?
He was this guy. He's got a funny name.
Oh, he's the guy that did that movie, Frenzy?
Yes. Also
all
did,
he's known for?
Right. That and the 39 Steps. But The Trouble with Harry is a good one, too. So this is like a rare sort of comedy for Hitchcock. It came out in 1955. I think this was like right after Rear Window and then like right before North by Northwest, somewhere in that neighborhood. But this is a movie. It's a dark comedy. It takes place somewhere in like New England area. So we've got like fall leaves all over this thing. Basically this like local man's corpse is like discovered on this nearby hillside in this small town, and all of the people in sort of like the town are not quite sure how he ended up dead, and a lot of them sort of like suspect not each other, they suspect themselves. So some people are like, oh, I think it might have been me, I was hunting in the woods like that day, or I think it might have been me, I think I might have like he's my ex-husband and I might have like hit him with a frying pan while I was sleepwalking or something like that. It's a total like dark comedy, but the funniest thing about this movie is that nobody is really like disturbed or upset that he's dead. Everybody's just kind of treating this very like casually, very nonchalant in a very Hitchcock type of way, where they're all just trying to like figure out what to do with this dead body and like try to figure out in a very sort of lackadaisical way who killed him. But like I said, this is like Technicolor. It's got full of fall colors. It's really funny. There's like multiple scenes where they end up like trying to hide the body, so they're like burying him, and then they realize they need him for something else, so they go back and bury him or dig him back up like multiple times. It's really funny. It's really fun. It's got John Forsythe, Ed Gwynn, and Shirley MacLaine, young Shirley MacLaine, who's cute as a button, who I just saw on Only Murders in the Building this last season.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Quite the career.
I gotta call this a precursor to Weekend at Bernie's, but not Weekend at Bernie's 2. Yeah,
definitely kind of has that vibe to it. But yeah,
I haven't seen this since I watched it in school. Actually,
is this in the Alfred Hitchcock Ultimate Collection box set, Kris?
I think it is. That's where I first saw it. So yeah, if you have that box set, definitely check it out. And if you like Hitchcock movies, or you like movies that just like have that sort of fall vibe to it, I would definitely check it out. I'm definitely gonna watch it with Melody this October, because I don't think
I just didn't know he made anything other than Lifeboat.
Just that one. I always forget about Lifeboat because it's not in like any of the collections.
It used to be a Universal Studios tour thing, so that's why I always remember Lifeboat, because they would always show how he snuck himself in on the newspaper so that he could have his director's cameo. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
clever.
Z-Man.
All right, guys, the next pick on our top 12 Halloween movies to watch this year is Popcorn.
Before the fear of Friday the 13th. Before the evil of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Before them all, there was... Now, 15 years later, he's back.
Oh, yes.
There's something happening here that I've been looking for all of my life. There's smoke. Someone takes her hand. She's running. The same man comes towards her.
I'm in a dream.
I remember the whole thing. No!
Are you ready?
Popcorn. Buy a bag.
Popcorn. So popcorn. If you are, as Kris was saying, if you're tired of watching Halloween every Halloween season, if you need a break from Michael Myers, just like a brief respite, but if still want like a festive seasonal slasher, Popcorn is exactly what you're looking for. This came out in 1991.
See a Castle movie without having to watch a William Castle movie. It's either this or Matinee. Matinee rules too, but this is like the murder version.
Yes. So
Matinee is the movie about William Castle. This is more like a movie that William Castle made.
Yeah.
Like the corpse of William Castle made.
So this is directed by Mark Harrier and Alan Ormsby, who directed. He's uncredited, but he directed all the fake movies that you see within the film.
That's weird that they used another director. That's interesting.
If you're curious, we have mentioned Popcorn in the past on the show when we did our Theater of Horrors episode, which is all about movies.
Yeah, like how we couldn't watch it streaming anywhere, and now it is because I bought it on Blu-ray. Yeah.
So it was only available on YouTube. That YouTube version is not available anymore, but it is on Shudder, and you can find Blu-rays of it. There's a Steelbook available of it from Synapse, which looks awesome. So let me tell you about the movie, though. So the plot revolves around the film department at a university, and they decide to kind of raise funds for the department to host an all-night movie marathon at a local theater, an awesome-looking theater called the Dreamland Theater.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All of us as film students never got to do anything that
cool. This would have been a dream. Yeah. And in the film department, it looks like it's about as big as your high school drama department. Not
it's like us kids with maybe like one other podcast just chilling.
This would be like a small class at that in a college. So, but it's apparently the whole film department. I do not know where this film is supposed to take place, but it was shot in Jamaica, which is really cool because the music that's in this film is a lot of it was recorded by a local Jamaica band. They collaborated with Paul Zaza, who's the composer of the film. He's done so many soundtracks for horror movies, including My Bloody Valentine and Prom Night, and all the sequels, including Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2, as well as A Christmas Story. He's worked with Bob Clark a lot, Porky's. He's a really fantastic composer. So he did the soundtrack for this, and he wrote some of the songs on this, including Scary, Scary Movies, which should be on every Halloween playlist. Unfortunately, the MP3 is not available anywhere. But it's a great like Halloween rap that's very reminiscent of like the Monster Squad rap. So
Vinegar Syndrome or somebody needs to get on that. Death Records or Death
It's not available anywhere. There is a vinyl of the Popcorn soundtrack, which is also out of stock, but you can probably find it on eBay. But if you want an MP3 to add to your playlist, it is not available anywhere. So but it's a really great soundtrack. Anyway, the movie. So it's about a bunch of kids that are hosting this all-night horror movie marathon. And as Casey and Kris are saying, this is really like kind of a mixture of William Castle gimmickry with one of the most gloriously like over-the-top slasher villains ever. It's kind of a travesty that there aren't masks of this guy every Halloween because he's insane and like the best way possible. But I'm not going to say his name because that would spoil it. But it's really just a blend of all that and just the best B-movie cheese. There's basically a cult movie director that kind of tried to kill someone on stage that one of our main characters is having visions of. And like this whole theater like was lit on fire. And so she's kind of trying to get on the bottom of that. And all of a sudden killings start happening during this movie marathon while they're showing these fake movies, sometimes involving gimmicks that they use during these the movies they're showing. So they show 3 fake movies during this screening. Well, they're fake in real life. They're not fake in the universe of the film. But they show a film called Mosquito in 3D, where a prop mosquito is dropped from the catwalk above the screen and flies across the audience. This was a nod to the Emerge gimmick that was used in screenings for House on Haunted Hill, William Castle film, where a glow-in-the-dark skeleton was dropped from a rope above the audience. Another film they show in this movie is the Attack of the Amazing Electrified Man in Shockoscope, which is where they put electric buzzers on the seats of kids.
Like the Tingler, yes.
Yeah, like the Percepto gimmick they use for the Tingler. Yes. And then the last movie they show is The Stench, which is I think a Japanese, like a foreign film that uses odorama, which is a nod to the smell-o-vision gimmick used in the film Scent of Mystery.
Yeah, and also in Pink Flamingos, right? I think they
probably, yeah.
Yeah, so, one of the John Waters movies.
You guys were talking about vibes, and this movie has that in spades because they totally decorate this old school movie house with incredible Halloween decorations. It's almost set up like a horror nights like type haunted event, because a lot of the students are dressed up in costume and they act like scare actors. There's one that's like in a cage and it's supposed to be like a mental patient, and another one of the students is dressed up like a nurse and like gives him an injection. And a bunch of the moviegoers are dressed up in costumes. There's a guy who's like a mad scientist with 2 heads. He has like a fake head, and the fake head like throws up in a trash can at one point.
Yeah,
it's a great gag.
And you get to see a lot of really, like, as someone who's kind of a mask nerd, you get to see a lot of classic 80s era, like Dawn Post and distortion masks. Good stuff.
Yeah, this is just such a fun movie. There's lots of freaky practical effects in here, but the bloodshed is definitely restrained. So if you're kind of squeamish about gore, I think you'll be fine with this. It's such a fantastic pick. More people should be watching it. So it's available on Shudder right now. You can get the Blu-ray from Amazon or synapsefilms.com. Check it out. This is a perfect thing to put on this Halloween season. So that's my first pick, Popcorn.
Yeah, great pick. Zach texted me saying, "Hey, dude, you should do this one." And I'm like, "No, Don, you watched it more recently." I haven't even opened the Blu-ray yet.
Oh my gosh, Casey, get on that.
It's in the backlog. I've been watching weird 4K stuff. I just watched The Thing in 4K, and it was beautiful. But yeah, that's not my pick.
My pick. What is your next pick, Casey?
Okay, so another big time vibe one. You can't have cool Halloween vibes unless you have like foggy, spooky castles, right? Like you need that. Mm-hmm. So my favorite foggy, spooky castle movie. There's different ones, like, you know, Fall the House of Usher's up there, right? Mm-hmm. But
yes, Vincent Price agrees.
Tombs of the Blind Dead is my pick.
Blind terror strikes fear into the hearts of innocent people. The morgue receives the victims of the blind dead. There's no escape from the blind dead. They are the Templars, devil worshippers, a death cult that has risen from their 1,000-year-old tombs to begin a horrible reign of terror.
Just the name alone, man.
Okay, yeah, like this movie rules. Have either of you guys seen this?
I have not seen this.
Oh my god. Okay, well, they can't see you either.
I haven't seen it either.
They can't see you either, Zach. It's okay. So basically what happened is these Templars did some kind of like satanic shit, and they pissed off the church. Or actually, it was just like they did something to piss off the church. So they hung them, and then the birds pecked out their eyeballs. But they're like, I guess they officially call them revenants. They're kind of like zombie ghosts, but they come to life and they murder people. And it almost plays like a slasher movie, but it's a lot more eerie. It's like a cross between a ghost movie and a slasher movie. And these guys have horses, which makes them very mobile and very scary. And the thing is, though, they can't see you. But everyone gets really scared and starts screaming and breathing heavy, and they're just right on them after that point. And they will fucking eat you. And I love this movie. They used to have a really sick DVD set that was shaped like a coffin that you could get that had all 3 movies. The second one's called The Ghost Galleon, I think, unless that's the third one. And there's another one that the title's something about the shrieking of seagulls or something. Like you wouldn't even know they were related from the titles. But it's really cool. And you get skeleton dudes with long goatees in their robes, and they have no eyes, and they're like chasing people through the fog. Yeah, their beards stayed. It was kind of a weird choice, but they look super cool. And they're all dirty and grimy and shit, and they just look super awesome. And for vibe alone, I recommend this. It also has a pretty great fucked up ending that I'm not going to spoil here, but you're just like, whoa, I can't believe they did that.
The tag for this one is, who are these unholy savages who hunt out their victims by sound alone?
Nice. Let's just say it turns from what I said into Train to Busan, kind of. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good times.
I've always wanted to see a movie set in 13th century Berzano.
Oh, it's not, though. That's when they died. That's when they died. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's set in the 70s. Yeah.
Well, this description on Letterboxd is very misleading.
Yeah.
Oh, it's finally done, but it says 700 years later. So 700 years, the goatees are still there. That's good to know.
Yeah, and they're pretty long. They look like Jim the Anvil Neidhart for our wrestling fans out there, but like his skeleton. Oh shit, he's really dead, dude. He probably looks like one now.
So what's like your one-line pitch to someone to like get them to watch this movie?
Dude, cool looking zombies on horses.
Okay, that's pretty.
But they're like regular horses, which is a little disappointing. But I get it, like budget wise, but still, yeah.
All right. I mean, I'd watch it based off that. Yeah. So.
See, my pitch used to be Sick Coffin box set, and everyone's like, "Oh, that looks awesome! I gotta buy it," but that's not available anymore.
Oh, damn!
Fiery death for those who can't escape the blind dead. Coming soon from your cemetery.
All right, Kris, what is your next pick?
All right, my next pick is I wanted something Halloween that takes place at Halloween, more specific. So movie, and I'm definitely going with movies that I've not talked about on the show before. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice I'm forgetting names of movies out of the top of my head now.
Put it out of its misery, Kris, whatever it was. For this list.
Kris picks Society.
No. All right. So, because I have a list that's got more on it here, but okay, I'm gonna go with Idle Hands. Never talked about Idle Hands. Idle Hands.
So I came all the way over here. You said you was holding.
I didn't say what I was holding.
Anton Tobias never had much on his mind.
Don't you think you should have like a goal?
My dream life would be to lie around all day in bed and watch TV while some hot broad delivers me food.
And he always had time on his hands.
4 bodies have been discovered and the killer is still at large.
Until one of them got a mind of its own.
I have no control over my hands. It makes me do things I don't want him to do.
Aren't you a little old for Ding Dong Ditch?
Sorry about your bush.
I'm gonna call 911. What's the number?
I'm not the killer.
Okay. I mean, if OJ could get off, then I'm sure. You there?
Now, his hand won't stop.
I don't want to hurt you. They don't!
Ew, that's disgusting.
His friends won't die.
You're dead.
Undead, actually. And there was this big bright white light at the end of a long tunnel.
So what happened?
We were like, forget that, man. It's too far.
And the only way to stop it...
Idle hands are the devil's playpen, so keep my hands occupied, right?
...is to keep it busy.
Freeze! Drop the knitting needles.
That's probably not a good idea.
Put him down!
Cuff me!
Put those needles down, young man! Down!
Cuff me!
Columbia Pictures presents...
The police have no leads and the killer is still out there.
You scream like a girl.
The comedy.
Careful, it's on kind of loose. That's really starting to get on my nerves.
That dares to give scary movies...
Look at me! Tell me in the face!
The backhand.
What you doing, man? That's my dad. Come on.
CPR, man. I saw him Baywatch. Did you lose something there, bud?
Idle Hands. The touching story of a boy and his hand.
Kinky.
Fly for a white guy.
Sorry, I'm giving my pause after I say Idle Hands.
I appreciate it.
Idle Hands. Didn't do it the first time.
Kris, let me bring you out of your pause, Kris.
I love this movie. I have like total nostalgia for it. This is a movie I like had on VHS, and this came out like right when I was like the perfect age for it. When Scream was my favorite movie. It's just like a great horror comedy from like 1999, I want to say. Anyway, in the movie, Devon Sawa plays a like slacker loser kid in the suburbs, and his hand gets possessed by the devil and starts killing people. And he kills his 2 of his friends, one played by Seth Green, who's really funny in the movie. and
basically rips off American Werewolf in London.
Basically, yeah. Film. I would not realize that until much later when I saw American Werewolf in London. But at the time, I was like, "This is totally original." His friends are such slackers that they decide to come back from the dead because they saw this like bright light saying, "Come to us, come towards the light," and they figured, "Fuck it." I mean, it's really far, which is like my favorite joke in the movie.
Is it Seth Green and Breckin Meyer as the friends? I forget who the second one is.
I think it is Breckin. No, Breckin Meyer. No, it's not Breckin Meyer. It's a guy whose name
it's like one of those
like
guys.
Meyer.
Yeah. Oh man, my nostalgia for this it's weird. It comes from the ads for it because every comic book this is like Mallrats where they just completely went ham on the comic book audience.
Yeah.
And so every single comic book inside of the front cover had Idle Hands ads, or inside of the back cover for it seemed like a solid full summer or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Months before release. So when I finally saw it, I'm like, this is actually pretty good though. This is a fun movie, Chris.
It is. It's a very fun movie, and I don't hear people talk about it too much. It was a total bomb at the box office. Apparently, I think Columbine happened like a week or so before this movie came out, and so the studio got really nervous about violence in movies with teenagers, so they just like pulled all of the promotions for it, all the funding for promotion. So totally tanked. Nobody saw it, but I loved it.
The comics were already printed. That was probably the only promotion that lasted.
Yeah,
man. Is so where would I watch this now, Chris? Do you have it on Blu-ray or
the Scream Factory put out a Blu-ray a couple years ago. It's really awesome. It's got 2 commentaries, one from Seth Green and the director from right after the movie came out, or right when the DVD originally came out. And then another commentary that they recorded just recently for the Scream Factory release. And that one's fun to listen to because they're talking more sort of like with nearly 20 years removed. So that was fun. So yeah, definitely check this movie out. And it takes place at Halloween, and there's a Halloween party that they go to, a Halloween dance that they go to where the Offspring are playing.
Yeah.
Just like every Halloween school dance.
I think our theme's going to be Halloween parties and events that are way cooler than you could ever really have in real life.
Oh,
Unless Zach's going to throw us for a loop here with like something.
No, that theme is going to continue.
Yes, my next one too. Yeah.
I did want to say, I was wondering if Devon Sawa, if like anyone's ever brought like fake prop hands to have them sign, or just like had them like gotten their hands signed by Devon Sawa just in honor of Idle Hands.
Surely.
But, What sucks is like half the audience for him. Like everyone that goes up to him at cons is wanting Final Destination shit signed.
Yeah,
I
always forget he's in Final Destination. For me, Devon Sawa is Idle Hands all the way.
And for me, Devon Sawa is Little Giants.
Giants. He's actually
that's the first thing I saw him in. Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Oh, he's also Casper.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I saw him in both of those before Idle Hands or Final Destination. I'm pretty sure.
I think I saw Final Destination first, but I'm a fan of those movies. They're completely stupid, but I love them.
I think in the Idle Hands commentary, he talks about how girls will say to him all the time now, like, "Oh my gosh, you were so cute in Casper. I had such a crush on you." And he's like, "I was 11, but okay."
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone's going up to him going, "I wanted to bang you in Casper."
No, I think that's kind of what he said. And he's like, "That's gross."
He's a really funny guy. He's a good Twitter follow.
Yeah, he is. He is. He tweets some funny shit. Yeah.
Anyway, the next pick on our countdown here, my next pick, is a TV movie that we've mentioned on, I think, one of our earlier Halloween specials. Casey brought it up, but I'm going to bring it up here because not enough people have seen this movie, and I saw it for the first time last year, and I run a horror podcast, so that tells you that not enough people have seen it, and that is The Midnight Hour. This came out in 1985.
Eternity is about to play a nasty little trick.
Who's there?
On the carefree kids of Pitchford Cove.
Figured out what you're gonna wear to the party yet tonight? Demons, arise.
Yeah!
Come heed my bidding on this night of nights.
Halloween, my favorite time of year. Ah!
He's one of them.
I'm not afraid of death. I'm going for it.
The party could go on forever in the midnight hour.
Tell me, Zach, is the stream a little better now on YouTube or is it available somewhere legally now?
I remember thinking the one I watched last year was great. So,
was it the one that had the commercials in it?
I do not remember.
Yeah, because I was watching one that had the commercials. It kind of looked like shit and sounded like shit, but it still had the commercials, so it was kind of cool.
I have not looked it up, so hopefully it's still available to watch on YouTube. I'm sure it is in some capacity. This is directed by Jack Bender. It came out in 1985. Jack Bender is a very prolific TV director. He's worked on Lost, Game of Thrones, The Sopranos. Very prolific TV director. He's also directed a bunch of TV movies early on in his career. This also has a really great cast. Jerry Belafonte Harper, LeVar Burton, Peter DeLuise, Dee Dee Pfeiffer. Really, really fun cast. So the movie, very kind of simple plot. It's about a bunch of high schoolers played by 30-year-olds. On Halloween night, it takes place in this small town of, I think it's called Pitchford Falls in New England, or Pitchford Cove in New England, and they break into the town's like history museum to kind of steal some costumes for this Halloween party. And they also take a couple artifacts, including a scroll which has a terrible curse inscribed on it. And they decide on the way to this Halloween party that they're going to stop in the local cemetery for a gag and read from the scroll, because that's a smart thing to do. And
what's funny, Zach, is this is like the exact plot of Grave Robbers almost too. Yeah.
They unknowingly raise the dead. So like Grave Robbers, this is very much like Thriller the movie. It even has a musical dance sequence. There's a fantastic original dance number song called "Get Dead." It's gonna stay in your head for a while if you see it. It's really good. Really catchy. And Casey does not.
And I love it. Yeah,
it's great.
It's good.
So. This movie contains some of the best like 80s Halloween costumes you will ever see in your life. Just fantastic neon, glittery tinsel wigs. It's brilliant. You get zombies like interacting with the partygoers at the party, and they don't know they're zombies. And there's some really fantastic, like the graveyard sequences are some of the best I've ever seen. I have not seen Grave Robbers, but like even for like a lighthearted TV movie, there's some really great like practical effects here. It's it's not Thriller level, but it's still really good. And this is just a fun movie. There's a really sweet kind of romantic subplot in here as well. And fun trivia, this film was Macaulay Culkin's first screen role as an uncredited trick-or-treater, so you can look out for that too.
I always thought Uncle Buck was the first thing he did.
Nope, this apparently. So yeah, it came out on ABC on November 1st, 1985. That is the midnight hour. It's such a good watch. Such a great thing to put on a party if you can. Open up your YouTube app. I'm sure there are some good uploads of it now. If there aren't, I will throw in an edit and say you're shit out of luck, but I think you'll be okay. So that is my second pick, the midnight hour.
Hold on. You gotta love a movie with LeVar Burton, just in general, okay? And then you have the great Harry Belafonte's daughter, okay? And if they could have had half of the music that Beetlejuice had, people would still be talking about this today. She couldn't get her dad's own songs for the movie. I'm sad about it. Okay, so I'm going to go in a completely different vibe direction right now, okay? I'll take us back to the vibe I liked before. This is different, okay? So, I like a good slasher movie. And like all of you, I like a good movie where one of the main characters is an extremely effeminate gay Satanist grandfather.
Yes.
So, I want to talk about Hack-A-Lantern. I know it's on the nose. I know it is. But the vibe of this movie rules. It is not Scary Cemetery. It is not Foggy Castle. It is 80s heavy metal movie with Satan.
You're nothing anymore.
I wasn't gonna do Trick or Treat because it's too obvious.
Either Trick or Treat.
Hack-O-Lantern. Hack-O-Lantern is the shit, man. It's about this guy who basically he's kind of like destined to become the Antichrist, I guess. His grandpa really kind of runs a cult that murders people, and he's amazing. The grandfather is one of the most amazing characters you will ever see in film. He cannot say anything without doing intense eyebrow acting, and I just love it so much. He's just like they say people chew scenery. He chews the scenery, spits it out, and then eats it again. Like this guy is amazing. And you have to see the movie. I hope the clip that Zach finds is just the grandpa saying something fucking stupid. And then we can just play that because it's great. I love this guy. And he's arguing with the dude's mom. The dude's an adult, okay? I'm blanking on his name at this moment, and I should have had this on here. But yeah, the main actor is in a million movies. Gregory Scott Cummins, who plays Tommy. If you look him up, you will recognize him immediately. He's Mac's dad on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Hell yeah.
So like
that guy's great.
But I mean, like, he's been in a shitload of movies.
He was in
right?
Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge.
Yes, he was. Okay,
he's the villain in that.
I think he was in Lethal Weapon also, though. Like, he's been in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And this dude rules. But the true star of the movie is this dude, High Pike, which if you look him up, it's Hypyke. Look him up on IMDb. He has the most metal fucking IMDb profile photo you will ever see in your life.
What is his name?
High Pike. Hypyke. Okay, you got to see this dude's profile photo. It says all I can say about this grandpa, who is like one of the greatest characters I've ever seen in my life. And he's just devouring the scenery. Oh, I love this man.
I cannot find it. Shit, Hack-O-Lantern. Okay.
He actually gets top billing on IMDb. I don't remember.
Holy shit! I see what you're saying.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's a still from a movie. Okay.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the from this movie, but yeah, yeah, dude, he's great. This movie is just wonderful. It has some of the best box art you'll ever see if you see the original VHS art. It is just a lady holding a severed head. It's great. She kind of dances in the music video and seduces Mac's dad to do sacrifices for the grandpa. And then the grandpa comes and says scary things, but everything he says sounds vaguely sexual, and it's not like
I thought he literally said scary things. Like he showed up and went, scary things, and then disappeared.
No, he would say more like scary things.
Scary things?
He would be like, Zachary, I listened to your podcast today, and I want you to sell your soul to Satan. That's actually a really good impression. Like the people listening to the show that have seen that movie are losing their minds right now at how good of a High Pike impression that was. But the rest of you that haven't seen it, see it. It's been available for a while on a couple different streaming services. Shudder had it. It might be just Tubi now because Tubi has everything. They're kind of the reigning champions of horror streaming.
You just have to watch commercials. It's basically like TV.
Yeah, I had a fun little experience with that I'll throw in as an aside here. I was going to show the occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge episode of The Twilight Zone to my creative writing class. And it was on Paramount Plus a month ago when I planned this week's classes. And I went to go and they pulled it because the short film version is on Tubi. So we had to watch it with commercials. But hey, you want an English teacher recommendation, check out some Ambrose Bierce, all right? So here we go. All right. Got some book recommendations too.
All right, Kris, what is your third pick, man?
All right. Number 3 with a bullet. I'm going for You almost could say I'm going for just vibes on this one.
Okay.
What I'm pulling out is with the Dusty DVD is Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow.
There is no horseman. There never was a horseman. There never will be a horseman.
Ichabod?
You can lock the door. You can bolt the windows. But can you survive the night? From director Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Sleepy Hollow, rated R. Tomorrow in theaters everywhere.
Oh, I love this
because
movie,
the Disney Sleepy Hollow is
pick.
too obvious. And I'm sure I've talked about it before. But no, I love the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow.
We have talked about it. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting.
I love the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow. I remember being super excited about this when it came out. But I was too scared to go see it in the theater, I think. It's weird. I don't know why. I feel like I remember having nightmares about this movie, but it's not realizing it's kind of a comedy. But also, I don't know what genre to put this movie in. This movie kind of gives the middle finger to genre and says, I'm not anything.
It does.
But yeah,
it's a bit of a horror movie, for sure.
A bit of a horror movie, but extremely camp. Definitely like...
Oh yeah, very campy.
Tim Burton's camp factor that he loves.
It's like also, Evil Dead, too. Like
kind of.
You know, it's that kind of
But also,
sort of
it's the last time that Tim Burton really gave a shit. Like, it's also probably the last time Tim Burton made a movie with, like, sets. Like, lots and lots of sets. Like, they built a small town for this movie. I remember watching
a sick forest.
I remember watching the behind the scenes of this movie and being, like, in awe of how much they did. Yeah, they built a whole forest.
And a bitchin' fucking tree.
A whole, like, windmill.
Sick bridge.
To do a whole Frankenstein tribute to in the climax, which isn't even like the end climax. It's like right before the climax. There's a whole like windmill on fire. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's also like a mystery, like a whodunit. It's everything. It's a lot.
And you're leaving out who plays the Headless Horseman in this movie, the most amazing casting possible.
The whole movie is chock full of cast. We've got Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman.
Yes,
we've got
Christopher Walken.
Michael Gambon. We've got Michael Goff. Johnny Depp, obviously. Richard Harris. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
Christina Ricci.
You're going to get a headbutt from Christina Ricci, and it's going to hurt. She's got a big forehead.
Miranda Richardson. I mean, it's just a ton of people, of human beings, just stocked in this movie. And it just looks amazing. I mean, it's totally... I don't know why Tim Burton decided to pick Sleepy Hollow as like a tribute to Hammer horror, but that's just the choice he made, and he just like ran with it. Like all the blood looks like Hammer horror, like red paint. I mean, it's just like stark red against everything else that is gray. And yeah, it has a lot of like Hammer actors in it. Like Christopher Lee is in this. It looks amazing. It's beautiful. Of course, it's got that Halloween vibe to it. Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie for whatever reason, I'm sure you have. But if you haven't seen this movie in a long time and you don't remember it that well, then you should rewatch it.
Absolutely, I am overdue for a watch of Sleepy Hollow. I loved this movie.
I think I watched this on Blu-ray for the first time, like fairly recently, like a couple years ago, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, this is I think one of Tim Burton's best looking movies, and I think it's one of his most underrated movies. It is so good.
It's the last movie before he just started using CGI gunk on everything.
I do think Wednesday looks pretty fun, but we'll see how it turns out.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's still got this like every Tim Burton in the movie in the last like 10 years has this like I'm going on a rant, has this like weird like too slick sheen to it that I don't like. It's like too cleaned up. The dude needs to go back to shooting on film.
I understand. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my third pick, I'm going in a little different direction here. I'm going found footage. My next pick is House LLC.
Oh, I knew this was going to come.
Nice.
What happened that night at the Abaddon Hotel. What is that?
It's everything.
Sarah, have you watched those?
No.
So you have no idea what's on them?
How beautiful is this?
Hell House.
This came out in 2015. It is directed by Stephen Cognetti. So I think a good found footage movie is always a must every Halloween season, but you got to find the right one. There's obviously some obvious ones, like Kris might mention one later on in this episode, but
maybe not.
But I think House LLC is one of the most underrated found footage movies I've ever seen. It's very Halloween specific, and it came out on Shudder. It's a really independent effort, really small, modest budget, and they've made a whole kind of franchise about this. They want to continue it, so please support the filmmakers so they can continue it, because they know they've been having trouble getting picked up by Shudder to do the spin-off they wanted to do. So they're hoping, I think, to do a fourth movie. So please support them. Check out their Facebook page where they post a lot of their updates, because it's really a wonderful independent series. But there are 3 of these movies, but I'm here to talk about the first one, which I think is the strongest of the 3. And it's just, it's about this group of kids. They did a local haunt, and they're moving it to a new location, and they want to put it up at this supposedly haunted hotel called the Abaddon Hotel. And so this documentary is, they found a couple tapes because a terrible event happened, and then they're kind of show the lead up to what happened. But these kids were trying to launch this haunted house, and it leads up to the first night of the event. And so you see all these weird things start to happen behind the scenes as they're setting up this creepy haunt in this haunted hotel. And there's so many. I think the best thing about this is it doesn't really rely on tons of jump scares. It's a lot of slow, lingering shots. I remember specifically a scene where a guy's like in a basement with like a bunch of clown decorations and props that are like sitting on the ground, and he's going through them one by one, and you'll like see the clown, and then he'll like double back and you'll turn and the clown has moved slightly. And there's just wonderful like moments like that are so creepy and unsettling. This movie's
and that
really
costs $0.
Yeah, it's scary. This is one of like the best paced found footage movies I have ever seen. If there's any real issues with it, it's just the finale is a little underwhelming. They certainly make up for that in sequels, but
I was gonna say, are the sequels good?
The sequels are great. I think the third one's better than the second one. The second one's a little campier. The third one is more in tune with the first one, tonally.
I still need to watch the third one because the second one I keep like not getting through.
Yeah, it's fun, but it is definitely campier. And the third one is more back to kind of what made the first one so great. I still think the first one is the best one. But yeah, it's really kind of set up like almost like a Travel Channel or Netflix like kind of documentary in parts of this, because you're getting a lot of like talking head segments with people talking about this case and what happened to these kids and or 20 somethings. It's just a really, really well done. If you want something creepy and something to put on late at night that's gonna scare you, this is a good one to put on. This is a creepy movie. So House LLC, directed by Stephen Cognetti. Check it out if you like it. Check out the sequels; they're really fun. Support the filmmakers so they can make another one.
And allegedly, there's like an extended cut now that just came out recently, right?
Yeah, I think it should be on Shudder. If it's not, I just looked it up. It's definitely on Tubi and a bunch of other places. So there's plenty of places you can watch this film. So and the sequels.
Nice. I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
I'm going to cheat because I need to introduce this. So you're going to hear my titles a little later. Okay. So you're watching this black and white movie, okay? And you cut to a wrestling ring in Arena, Mexico. And you see this guy, and he's got a mask on. And he's clearly a bad guy because he's like going to the audience and like doing all this mean stuff to them. And he's kind of hairy a little bit. But then comes El Santo, the greatest hero in Mexican wrestling history, with his silver mask, okay? And in his movies, he's like the 66 Batman, but it's serious as fuck, and he's also a wrestler. And he's in the ring with this werewolf, okay? I spoiled that. Edit that line out. He's in this ring. Okay, hold on. He's in this ring with this guy, and he manages to finally rip his mask off. He rips his mask off. It's a fucking werewolf. The audience goes insane.
I did not see that coming.
Audience goes insane. They're freaking out. the werewolf slides outside of the ring and starts like chasing the audience around. So a bunch of cops come and they get him in the ring, and he's like fucking crazy. He starts karate chopping all these cops, and they die like as he's karate chopping them because he's got super strength or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, the cops pull their guns. They open fire, and then the werewolf turns into a fucking bat and flies away. You need to watch some El Santo movies for Halloween.
Bat?
Yes.
Okay.
Turns into a bat and flies away.
Okay.
You need to watch El Santo movies. They don't play by any rules. So that's my pick for this one, because I'm not playing by the rules. I'm picking a bunch of movies.
Tenemos que lanzarnos a una cacería de seres humanos para convertirlos en vampiros y hombres lobos. Si queremos adueñarnos del mundo, necesitamos multiplicar nuestras especies.
So, again, the El Santo movies, he's kind of like a secret agent super spy as the films go on, but he's always fighting monsters or something. And, sometimes it's a mad scientist, but usually it's vampire women or little people vampires, or sometimes it's a vampire and a werewolf at the same time. Sometimes it's a werewolf that does vampire shit that turns into a bat. Who knows? Nothing's off the table here. But as a Lucha Libre fan, El Santo is a very important character that you don't hear enough about in the United States. You might have seen a couple of Mystery Science Theater episodes with him in it, but that's about it. And they call him Samson in the English translations. But he is one of the most famous people in Mexican history. There was a poll about 10 years ago where they asked people in Mexico to name famous Mexicans, not famous Mexican athletes, not famous Mexican actors, just famous Mexicans. He was in like the top 5, okay, out of anyone from any level of fame. El Santo's great. He's popular enough that they have bootleg El Santo movies in Turkey. That's amazing. They have statues of him in Libya outside of movie theaters because he's traveled around the world. And they're nuts, dude. I can recommend a lot. There's a box set that came out. I would say if you really want to get into it and you really want to see what these are all about, you got to watch one movie, which is Santo y Blue Demon contra Dracula y el Hombre Lobo. So that's Santo and Blue Demon versus Dracula and the Wolfman. It's amazing. That has a lot of the Haunted Castle vibes and the foggy sets that I've talked about, but by way of 1966 Batman level set design. And like, you can't help but get the vibes if you're seeing the color ones. The black and white ones, they feel a little different. But once you get into the color era where Santo's an older man, it's pretty great because the guy died in 1984, so they're all before that. But yeah, these films are amazing. I can't recommend them enough. And plus, you get awesome Lucha Libre action, and you get to see El Santo wrestle, and there's not a lot of footage of that exists. I think the movies might be the only footage because Mexican wrestling got banned from TV for years in Mexico because they thought it was making the kids violent. Like, they thought they'd watch it and beat each other up, so they completely banned it from television.
And they were right.
Yeah, I've done some shit because of pro wrestling.
Really cool. Thank you for the history lesson, Casey. I could not think of a casier pick than luchadors fighting monsters. So
yeah, but watch the real shit. Don't watch like one of the fake movies like Enter the Zombie King or whatever. Watch El Santo. Watch the real stuff.
Awesome.
You watch Nacho Libre, I'll break your fucking legs.
I like Nacho Libre, but yeah, it's not true to luchadors at all. It's funny. It's sweet. Anyway, Kris,
Nacho Libre is really true to a luchador that they completely stole his entire life story and then didn't pay him a cent. His name's Fray Tormenta.
Ooh. We're starting a whole thing here. Kris, what is your last pick on our top 12 Halloween movies to watch this year?
All right, I'm torn. All right, okay. you hinted at earlier, Zach, that I might be picking a a found footage movie because I was originally thinking about talking about Blair Witch, but you know what? Everybody's seen Blair Witch Project. Everyone either hates it or they love it. You know how you feel about it. I'm not changing any minds here. I love it. I watch it every Halloween. But I am going to talk about another Halloween movie that also a lot of people have seen, but probably not in the consciousness as much as it should be for a Halloween movie, and that is The Guest.
Mrs. Peterson?
Can I help you?
My name is David. I knew your son. I was with him when he died. One of the things he asked was for me to check on y'all. You and your whole family here. I said I'd do that, and so here I am.
Would you like to come inside?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, this is a very good pick.
So if you're somehow, well, number one, you're not Casey. So you're not Casey. You might be burnt out on horror movies for Halloween for some reason.
You know,
Spice
that
it up
happens
a little bit
in October sometimes.
Spice it up a little bit. Throw on The Guest. It is an action movie. It is hilarious, and it takes place at Halloween, and has one of the best soundtracks ever.
This is a tremendous movie. Not one that I ever thought we'd talk about on this podcast, but it's an awesome movie.
Yeah, I mean, there is a slight Blair Witch connection in that it was directed by Adam Wingard, who did the Blair Witch sequel, reboot, failed thing.
The good one.
Oh, God.
Not Book of Shadows. Well, I mean, it wasn't a good one. The better one?
I could argue Book of Shadows is a more interesting movie, but not right now. No, that's not. We're not going to talk about The Guest. So, yeah.
I could agree with you that Book of Shadows is a more interesting movie.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So The Guest, directed by Adam Wingard, starring Dan Crazy Eyes Stevens, basically is like, what if Captain America was evil? Or what if Captain America and the Terminator somehow were mixed together?
Kind of like if Winter Soldier went a little different too. Yeah.
This film has one of my favorite scenes, probably like in the last 10 years of movie, of this bar sequence. It is one of my favorite scenes to watch in a long time, because it's just Dan Stevens antagonizing this group of dipshit teenagers and beating the shit out of them.
Guys, Dan Stevens is so fucking good. He's great in this. He's great on Legion. If you haven't seen Legion, you should watch Legion. Dan Stevens just rules and should be in more things.
He absolutely should.
But yeah, this is a fantastic movie. They've been teasing a sequel for forever. I think a little bit about this. Don't know if it's going to happen. I think Simon Barrett said it wasn't a success, so they're not going. So no, they'll never do it. He had a really good conversation on Red Letter Media's. Yeah, he had a really good interview on Red Letter Media's channel. So go and check that out. He talks all about sort of behind the scenes and the writing.
And watch their channel no matter what. They're great.
Watch his interview talking about The Guest. They talk a lot about behind the scenes stuff with the writing in it. How they kind of pick the tone for the comedy. Fantastic.
Those of you that are Red Letter Media fans, it's a J movie.
Yes, definitely a J movie.
Know it's good.
Mm-hmm. Really great pick, Chris. I love The Guest, and I totally forgot that it was actually a Halloween movie. So much fun.
The whole end is such a great ending sequence that takes place in a haunted maze. Like a very theatrical haunted maze in a high school gymnasium, one that would never happen in real life. I think they know that too. I think they fully acknowledge, no school would ever have this ornate of a Halloween maze, let alone probably a Halloween maze.
Not in this day and age. Maybe they were cool in the 80s or something.
There's a lot of great little great little tribute to Halloween 3 in there as well. And one of my favorite soundtracks.
You think they were better? I need to remind everyone of Behold the Spirits.
I really want to get that guy in the podcast.
God, I wish he was still my neighbor. I wish I could remember what house it was. He might still be.
You guys need to listen to like our Halloween special 2 years ago to hear that story. It's phenomenal.
All the real ones already know.
I think about it every time I see a box of Kleenex.
Oh, so good. Okay, guys, my last pick. Do you guys have any guesses as to what my last pick is?
Yes, because you texted us.
I didn't text you my list.
No, you didn't give us your list. You asked us to give you. Okay, you asked us to give you our list, and then you didn't give us yours. That's a real trust violation. I'm
because
just
I was
right now
taking my time trying to figure it out, and I was dealing with other stuff this week.
Okay, it's gonna be an episode of Big Bad Beetleborgs because I wanted to do an episode on that, and you guys wanted to do this shit instead.
It's a movie list, Casey.
Zach, is it the Paul Lynde Halloween special?
No. That
Why
could have been
not?
on Casey's list. Well, that's not technically a
We've
movie
talked
either.
about it a lot. That's been my pick on an episode. Like I went in depth
Our
on the Paul Lynde
special,
Halloween special.
One of our Halloween specials, yeah. I am actually curious if you guys have seen this movie because I have a bit of a curveball for you. So, my last pick, which is something I just watched for the first time today, a movie I stumbled upon because I wanted to find something interesting, something different that not enough people have seen, and this movie is fantastic. It is called Scream. No, it is called. Came out in 1988, directed by Frank LaLoggia, no relation to Robert Loggia.
Robert Loggia.
Spell and pronounce their names completely differently.
It is Lady in White.
It's 1962. It's Halloween.
I wish I was as weird as you. Thanks.
There's nothing wrong with the town of Willow Point Falls that a powerful imagination can't cure.
The London Bridge crumpled under the monster's huge lizard feet. That's impossible. Or is it?
But this time, it's not make-believe.
No, don't hurt him. It was too dark. I couldn't see his face.
This time it's serious, deadly serious.
I'm telling you, that doesn't matter. This case has been making monkeys out of all of us for the past 10 years.
And strange. Very strange. For you have seen a girl.
There was a little girl. I saw her. She was killed in the cloakroom.
A girl who wants you to find her killer.
Will you help me?
You have just one hope to solve the mystery.
Sometimes when someone dies violent, they can't rest in peace.
To stop the evil.
Where are you going? I gotta follow her.
To save your life.
Come here, child.
Open the door. Say your prayers. Lady in White.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, this is the one that's got Mona in it. Yeah.
You know, I have put off saying this because every time I hear someone say it's good, I hear someone else say it's not good, and it leaves me mixed.
I gotta say, dude, this was recommended to me by Jay from the Sexy Armpit, who recommended Trick or Treat, which became one of my favorite movies in the history of movies. So, yeah.
Have they talked about this on Purple Stuff?
Oh, absolutely. It's
really?
Yeah, it's got Mona from Who's the Boss in it, dude.
That's totally stealing my thunder now.
Well, tell us about Lady in the White.
It's still a good pick.
Tell us about
still
Lady
a great pick.
You liked it. Tell us about why you liked it.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's a dope movie, dude.
It's super like under the radar ghost story from the late 80s. It's a very like lovely mix of To Kill a Mockingbird with like the whimsy of something like Big Fish and the atmosphere of Something Wicked This Way Comes, which I know is one of Chris's favorite Halloween movies.
That's the movie I was trying to think of the name of earlier, and I couldn't remember.
If you visibly saw me recoil just now, it's because I just saw what Lucas Haas looks like now.
He looks pretty good. What? He looks fine. Anyway, so This is a movie. It takes place in 1962, but it's like all in flashback because the film is narrated by a grown-up version of her protagonist, who is actually played by the director.
So we know she doesn't die. Lame.
Well, he's Ralphieing it. That's what. That's the actual industry term.
It's got kind of a Christmas Story vibe as well.
I remember that Halloween. I was so excited to go out and get my candy.
So you guys talk about vibes. If you want to put on something that's just going to get you in the fall mood, right along with like Something Wicked This Way Comes, or like the opening of like Hocus Pocus, this is the thing to put on. Lady in White.
Nuts and Husker Do's and Husker Don'ts.
It opens with some beautiful fall imagery. It has a wonderful score. It's very kind of similar to the opening of Something Wicked This Way Comes. You're introduced to this small town of, I believe it is called, I had the name and now I forgot.
It's one of those like whatever Falls Glen something, right?
Yeah,
Hope Fall Glenville, Sleepy Pines, Hope Glen, Friendship Dale.
Look at Lucas Haas's eyes are too far apart, man.
Are they glowing red? Because your room just got really red.
Oh no, that's got to be Kane. Let's see.
Okay, I got it. So the story takes place in 1962. As I said, you get this beautiful fall imagery. It's very similar to the opening of Something Wicked This Way Comes. It takes place in the small town of Willow Point Falls. Yeah, again, this movie is narrated by the grown-up version of our protagonist. His name is Frankie, and he's like an author now. And you kind of meet this kid and his older brother, and they're riding their bike through this town. You see local shopkeepers pouring bags of candy corn into a bucket in a window display. It sets such a personality for this city, for this little town. You meet a lot of the inhabitants, them riding through. You get to this classroom, it's covered in jack-o'-lanterns. It's like the day before Halloween. This film has a wonderful cast. Lucas Haas plays the protagonist, Frankie. Len Carew is also in it. Alex Rocco. Jason Presson plays Gino Scarlatti, Frankie's older brother. He's one of the kids in Explorers with Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix. He's the third one.
The other one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. The other kid.
Also, Jared Rushton plays one of Frankie's kids. You know him as from Big, Billy and Big, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Billy's the homie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Katherine Hellman is also in this. So this is really... the basic setup is this kid.
You can't just call her that. It's what? Mona. God
Mona.
Damn it.
Mona. Okay. I didn't grow up on Who's the Boss, so I don't know her as Mona.
Life was unkind.
I'm not even sure who is the boss.
Is it I like how if you look it up on Just Watch, Who's the Boss is on Tubi, but they have for some reason the German version, so it's like Was ist das Boss? And I'm like, okay.
Who is the boss? It is not me.
Tell me.
So this really quaint, pretty scenic small town in upstate New York, there's a serial killer that's kind of been on the loose in this town and gotten unfound for about 10 years. And this kid, Frankie, he is locked in a closet, this kind of supply closet in this classroom by his young friends. And at the
they're
beginning
kind
of
of
this
dicks,
movie,
dude.
They're assholes. They're not good friends.
Yeah.
That's Jared Rushton and this other kid. They're really not good friends. And they lock him in this closet. And all of a sudden, it gets late, and he sees a ghost of this girl. This young girl about his age. And then he sees her, just visibly, strangled in this closet. And then all of a sudden, someone comes into the closet. This is a shadow who starts to strangle him. It's because he catches him. Someone that's, looking for something. And he passes out, and then he wakes up, and he's saved by his dad and some cops that have come in. The stranger has disappeared. And you find out that there's been a serial killer on the loose. And so it's this mystery trying to find out who the ghost of this young girl was, trying to help her and trying to get to the bottom of who this killer was. And there's a janitor at the school that is the scapegoat for this, a black janitor who was drunk and stayed late that night, and they arrest him and pin the murders on him. So that's kind of your To Kill a Mockingbird sort of.
Yeah. When I first saw this, I kind of stopped watching because I thought it was because I saw this when I was a kid on cable. And I thought it was just oh, this is a movie trying to teach me that racism's bad. I already know that racism's bad. I don't need to keep watching. But then it gets good. It gets really good.
Yeah, there are those kind of racial tensions there, but that the court case is not really the focus of the movie, unlike To Kill a Mockingbird. This is really focused on the young boy and this ghost this young girl that he keeps seeing and trying to help her and figure out who this murderer is. And it's just, there's so many wonderful like comedic moments. There's a whole relationship because this boy lives with his dad, his older brother, and their grandparents. And the grandparents are like two of my favorite characters because the grandpa is always trying to hide like the fact that he's still smoking cigarettes from the grandma, and the grandma always catches him. And it's just really, really funny. There's some great sequences with them that are just laugh out loud funny. It really has like the whimsy of Big Fish. You know, there's a creepy old house in the town that the boys don't want to go to because like this old woman lives there that kind of scares them, that doesn't really talk to anybody. And so there's just lots of different things and legends throughout this town that they bump into.
Feels like somebody went to school with Tim Burton at CalArts.
Yeah.
And they were like total bros, but they made their own movie without him. You know?
So this is a really, I just think, low-key, like underrated movie that not enough people know about. If you really want to just feel like that fall vibe, a really kind of sweet kind of ghost story. It does touch on some dark subjects for sure. So it's not like who like the audience is for this movie is maybe a little hard to define because it isn't something that you're going to put on for like your 8-year-old necessarily, even though the
like
protagonist
it used to
is a
be,
9-year-old.
I'll decide what my 8-year-old
on
can
in
watch. Thank you very
afternoons.
much.
Yeah, it was like on cable in afternoons, which is when they put all the movies that had like heavy lessons, like an after-school special on, or just one of the guys.
Yeah.
So you always just watch just one of the guys.
But yeah, it has such a great presence and vibe, this movie, and the score
Can we
is
make
wonderful.
this podcast about just one of the guys, like every episode, though?
Just one of the guys.
Yeah, if you have not seen this movie, I would probably give it maybe 4 stars. I think it's really well done. It's not going to necessarily surprise you as to who the murderer is. There aren't like a ton of suspects.
There's
a
murderer?
It's more just the vibe and the atmosphere of it, and it's just a really well shot movie and well made and well put together. And there's like a wonderful backstory as to like how this whole thing was put together by the director, and you can look that up. There's some articles on it, and so really, really fun. Really just beautiful movie, and highly recommend that. So Lady in White came out in 1988. Check it out. It's available on Shudder right now. So.
Oh no shit! Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
So
a lot of these
that
movies
is
you
our
guys
list.
have mentioned are on Shudder.
I'm also going to throw out a bonus 5th pick and just say watch The Monster Squad because not enough people have seen that movie. I keep running into people who have not seen it, so I'm going to keep telling you to watch The Monster Squad. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things to watch this time of year.
I thought to live in LA, you had to watch The Monster Squad.
When you're a teacher, you find it every day. You find it every day.
It's the Goonies with Universal Monsters. It is just the perfect Halloween movie to put on.
I do have 3 kids who have seen the thing, though, so I'm pretty happy with that.
So there's your bonus pick, because we had to get to lucky number 13. So
yeah,
that is our show this week. We got to end things so Casey doesn't melt. If you'd like to, you can follow us on social media on our Twitter account, twitter.com/AMP Horror. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube under Another Miserable Podcast. If you enjoy what we do, please consider leaving us a nice review on Apple Podcasts or whatever streaming service you listen to us on. That would really help us out. You can also check out our website, anothermiserablepodcast.com. Find all the streaming services we are available on there. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, if you have a movie you'd like to advertise, if you're a director, if you're an artist, we'd love to collaborate with you. If you want to give us some cool discussion topics, anything Halloween themed, we are doing our Halloween stuff right now. The Halloween season is officially starting. Write us at anothermiserablepodcast@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you.
If you want to refute me saying that Fruit Brute tastes like cough medicine, come on. We'll even let you call in.
And you can also follow my lovely co-host here, Kris. Where can they find you?
Oh, I thought I was the lovely one. God damn it.
I said co-hosts. Both of you are lovely.
Oh, I'm lovely. I believe it was Donald Mainstock, the great amateur squash player, who first pointed out how lovely I was. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at Kris Pistol. That's where you find me.
Yes, you are. Casey, where can they find you?
Well, you see, Zachary, they can find me at Lucha Gringo on Twitter, or they can find me in my cult meetings on Halloween. Did your mother tell you about Halloween, young man?
It's a great impression of Tom Hanks from Elvis.
Oh yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm at Lucha Gringo on Twitter and on Letterboxd. I have a locked account on Twitter. Follow me anyway. I'll follow you back if you don't seem like a weirdo, okay? Or like a spam account.
You know, I want to put a little asterisk next to this weirdo policy, because I just watched Weird, the Ali Yankovic story, the trailer for it. we love if you're weird. Be as weird as you want. Just be cool. You know what I mean? Like, just like a good, like weird, be who you are. I want you to embrace your weirdness. Just don't be a stalker.
If you're wearing a zipper over your mouth and a Twitter profile pic, I'm probably not going to accept.
I'm just saying, we love weirdos.
We just love Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, we have Kevin on all the time, bro.
When we say weird, we just mean be friendly and nice and treat us with kindness, and we'll treat you with kindness is what we mean.
Yeah, if you got like a MAGA hat on, not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. But you can also follow me at my personal account, twitter.com/earth2zach, earth, the number 2, Zach, Z-A-K, and on Instagram with the same handle, and Letterboxd with the same handle. Follow me on Letterboxd. All right, guys.
Yeah.
That is our episode.
It's a sweaty episode.
It is a sweaty episode, but it's so exciting because, guys, the spooky season is just beginning.
I'm sleepy.
My balls feel like the guy from The Beyond. You know, like how he's all greasy. Yeah, leave that in.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Stay spooky, stay cool, stay hydrated. It's super hot right now, and we'll be back with more Halloween content for you.
114 degrees today. Woo!
Woo! I don't know what that was. That was a ghost. Okay.
Do you know what else is 114 degrees, Zachary? Hell. The fire in my eyes.